Hi, Larissa. So, what I decided to do for you was to help you solve your problem the way we would in college. So, what I mean is when we have to do a drawing of an animal or a subject that we don't know really well, we will break it down into its parts because a cheetah is made up of a lot of things. We do this when we're drawing humans too. We'll practice noses and things like that. So, what I'm going to show you is just how to observe like a scientist and see all you can see. So you can see that it is sped up a little bit, but I'm just kind of being really sketchy. And this is actually the first cheetah eye I have ever drawn up close. You'll notice that I'm drawing it bigger than my reference. When you're doing these practice drawings, it's always better to do it bigger because then you can fit in more things. Now, in your picture, whatever picture you decide to do, it might be small, but you'll have an understanding of the eye shape. And you can see that I included some shading and a little bit of detail around the eye. That's always good because an eye is not a sticker stuck to a face. It has other parts like little bits of fur and shading. It is important to look at a lot of different cats and different angles. So if we had more time, I would have shown you eyes from the side or what do the eyes look like when it's about to pounce kind of thing. So you could fill the whole page with eyes. I would say just for you to be good at eyes, I would say just draw 3 of them from 3 different animals. And then you should really understand. And probably each time you look at the eye, you will see more stuff. Okay, so now I'm going to do noses. Again, this is my first cheetah nose in profile close up. So I am learning too. We go through life assuming that we know what things look like. And as an artist, we need to do that sometimes so that we can go fast whenever we can. But sometimes you don't want to assume what the cheetah looks like because when you're done, it looks like a cartoon cheetah. So you do have to study and go slow sometimes, especially with a new subject. Now, once you've drawn a cheetah 100 times, then you will be so fast at it because you will know what to look for. You'll already know what you get hung up on. Looking at this right now, I'm like, you need to trim the bridge of the nose. you know, so every time you look, you will find more because it is never ending. So if you want to be good at something, look closely and practice a lot. So when I have students do like a self-portrait or if they want to draw someone they know, we always will do this. We will always do the face parts. The reason is sometimes when you break it into manageable pieces, you will be able to look more closely. There's also something nice about pulling it out of, it's not a cheetah, it's just this weird abstract section of a cheetah, which throws your brain off a little bit because your brain can't assume as much, which forces you to look more closely. So noses are black, right? But depending on the lighting and the cheetah, the lighting on the cheetah that you do, you might see more. On this one, I'm just going to focus on the shape. I do see some differences in light and dark in there. Now, your studies of the face parts and all the parts do not have to be finished drawings, but I would suggest keeping them in a sketchbook so that you can look at them later because it'll be pretty cool. Yeah, there should be nostrils in there, but I can't see them. And you can see I'm adding just little bits of fur. All right, so now I'm looking at the paws. So when I chose these for you, I was thinking thinking, what would I do? And so when you're doing this, you kind of want to think about what are the parts that have the most little parts in them. So paws are made up of toes and they have claws and they have ankles. So when you think of the whole cheetah, drawing a paw is just as hard as drawing a whole cheetah because there's so much stuff. So that's why you study it like a scientist. And the same goes with the face. So if I were going to prioritize, if I only had like a little bit of time to practice or warm up first, I would definitely always start with the face. And then I would do the paw, right? Because I know the rest of the body looks kind of like a cat and there's spots on it. So I could probably fudge that a little bit. You never know. And a little bit of shading is always nice. Why not? If you have the energy to add some shadows, then your study of the paw will look more dimensional. One thing that students do a lot is they'll pick the sections that they already know how to do. So one thing that I'm hoping is because everybody's working at home, maybe they won't do that because they'll feel like safer taking a risk. So I made my paw look like a horse's hoof. I'm realizing that and I'm adjusting. And that's why I did this so that I wouldn't have like a beautiful painting of a cheetah with a horse foot, right? Because I already know what to look for now. Even just the littlest practice will improve your main drawing like a whole bunch. So now I'm doing just, kind of a study on the shape of a cheetah. And I picked this pose because it really makes me think of a cheetah. I can see it running. This is what I would imagine, the super fast animal. Right now I'm just using the side of the pencil and I'm sort of rubbing it in. When you hold your pencil like that, you cannot focus on details. It keeps you safe in a way from doing too much too soon. But you can see I've switched now how I hold my pencil because now I'm slowing down and I'm going to reshape my outside. And you kind of want to move around the figure because it is a collection of parts. Sometimes we'll finish one section and then we're tired and we don't look at the rest. So you'll see that I just keep going around and around. Now, there are artists that go from one side to the next, and I don't know how they do it, but I have a suspicion that they already drew it. And I can see it underneath. I don't know those people. I jump around a lot because I find that it keeps me safe from thinking I know everything. Because sometimes, like, you know, I'm going to find out when I'm right here right now that my spacing might be wrong in between my legs, and I might find out that there's some angle issues. And when you accept that you are going to be wrong, you can relax because you know what's going to happen and you just get good at double checking. So right there, I use the negative space, that space in between the legs, to help me. So by drawing that white space instead of that dark back leg, I discover that my angle was wrong on that first leg because everything is like a puzzle and the shape of the air, right, needs to match the shape of the leg. Otherwise, the puzzle doesn't fit together. So looking at the negative space is really, really awesome. And so when you ever have something like this that has a lot of little shapes, uh, just use it. Use it, double check what you're doing by looking at the air around it, the white space, the negative space. So of course, look at the dot patterns, right? You could just throw in a bunch of dots and nobody would know. But if you really want it to look real, you'll find that the more cheetahs you look at, you will find certain sections where the dots change. Like the obvious one, right, is the tail. It goes from dots to stripes. But I noticed on the neck, right, there was some bigger ones. And you can see it even in this sketch. I'm not going to finish this one all the way because I kind of had to speed things up. I recorded too much video for you and I have to edit it out. But I think you get the point. Now, if you were in college, your teachers would be really hard on you and they would make you fill the entire page. But, if you just did, just a few of these, focusing on the parts that you hope to draw, that's totally awesome. You have your whole life to draw 1,000 cheetahs. You do not have to do it now. But if you wanted to be a pro, this is how it would happen. All right. I will see you in class next week. Bye.